Red Bull reveals a secret reason Verstappen can't leave the team. Ferrari and Hamilton have a big problem, and Horner is ready to go to his next team. Let's get into the latest F1 news. Max Verstappen's future in Formula One has become a hot topic, especially when considering his current position at Red Bull Racing. Despite the speculation linking him to other teams, such as Mercedes and Aston Martin, the reality is that any potential move is complicated due to his existing contract with Red Bull. Verstappen's future is tightly controlled by his current team, with a contract extending until the end of 2028. This deal was agreed upon shortly after he clinched his first World Championship, which makes any discussions about changing teams before 2029 quite complicated. The mechanics of driver contracts in F1 are governed by the Contract Recognition Board, a body established under the Concord Agreement. This board holds exclusive jurisdiction over any contractual disputes that may arise between drivers and teams. Essentially, if Verstappen were to head towards another team, Red Bull could block that move simply by exercising their rights under the contract. One notable example of the CRB's influence can be seen in the 2022 dispute between Alpine and McLaren concerning Oscar Piastri. This situation has illuminated the roles and responsibilities tied to F1 contracts. When teams sign a driver, they must send a sealed contract along with a summary of its key details to the CRB. This not only serves as a public register of active contracts, but also plays a crucial role in a driver's eligibility for obtaining an FIA super license, a requirement for participation in the championship. In the context of Verstappen's case, if multiple contracts were to be registered for the same driver during overlapping periods, it could create a conflicting situation. Theory: this means that the CRB would have to step in to resolve such disputes and determine which contract takes precedence. For Verstappen, these contractual intricacies mean that even if he has interest from other teams ready to welcome him, the legal landscape prevents any immediate moves. His loyal commitment to Red Bull, combined with the contract's terms and the powers of the Contract Recognition Board, places significant constraints on his future decisions. This poses a dilemma for a talented driver who may wish to explore new challenges in the sport. So, while whispers about Verstappen moving to Mercedes or Aston Martin continue to circulate, the reality is that Red Bull holds a strong position in controlling his next steps. For now, the future remains in the hands of both the driver and his current team, with potential moves complicated by the implicating structures within Formula One contracts. Ultimately, Verstappen's passion for racing will be balanced against the contractual realities, making fans curious about how this situation will unfold as 2026, the potential start point for such a move, inches closer. If a driver decides to dispute their contract, the matter is escalated to a hearing with the Contract Review Tribunal, where the sealed contract is revealed and a decision is made. This decision is then communicated publicly, effectively clarifying which team the driver is officially contracted to. Take Max Verstappen, for instance. As he has a valid contract with Red Bull, if another team attempts to sign him, the Contract Review Board would notify all parties about the conflicting contracts. However, it ultimately falls on Red Bull to decide whether they will allow Verstappen to leave or enforce his current deal. Simply signing a contract elsewhere doesn't mean the contract with Red Bull can be ignored. Without their agreement, breaking an existing contract isn't possible unless there are specific options or clauses that permit early termination, making it fundamentally binding. The story of Jenson Button illustrates this point quite well. Back in 2005, he found himself in a contractual tug-of-war between teams that ultimately cost him £18 million to break free from his existing agreement with Williams. In today's terms, that's close to £32 million. Although Button managed to negotiate his way out, if Williams had opted to hold firm, he would have had to race with them in 2006. This adds significant context to Verstappen's situation. He can't discard his existing contract just because he seeks a change or a more competitive team. To leave Red Bull, he would need their consent, and speculation suggests a buyout figure could be around £100 million, which may still be undervalued considering Verstappen's current salary, which is reportedly 10 times Button's past earnings. From Red Bull's perspective, while a £100 million payout might sound huge, the team has reported revenues of £3.2 billion last year, making them financially secure. They have a solid roster of sponsors and consistent prize money. More importantly, letting Verstappen go would leave Red Bull scrambling for a replacement at a time when the driver market is quite limited. Moreover, allowing Verstappen to leave would inadvertently bolster a rival team, giving them a competitive edge. Thus, Red Bull holds a strategic advantage in this scenario. They can decide whether to let Verstappen pursue other opportunities or to reinforce their current contract, keeping him as their star driver. As the F1 landscape evolves and rumors about team changes persist, fans keenly anticipate how these contractual dynamics will play out in the seasons to come. Lewis Hamilton's journey in Formula One has taken a fascinating turn as he navigates his role with Ferrari. His challenges in adapting to the SF25 have been well known among fans and pundits alike. Guenther Steiner, the former F1 team boss, has noted a conflict between Hamilton and the Ferrari brand. He believes Hamilton represents a unique persona in the world of racing. He is arguably bigger than his team itself. This is a significant statement, especially when comparing him to Max Verstappen, who Steiner feels lacks that same visibility beyond the racetrack. The anticipation surrounding Hamilton's arrival at Ferrari for the 2025 season was palpable. Here was the most successful driver in F1 history teaming up with one of the most storied teams. Fans hoped for a formidable collaboration, especially as Hamilton pursues an elusive 8th World Championship. However, this partnership hasn't sparked the fireworks many expected. Amidst the excitement, Hamilton has struggled to find his footing. As of now, he hasn't secured a podium finish, while his teammate Charles Leclerc has achieved 4. This discrepancy highlights a difficult season for Ferrari, which has failed to meet its lofty expectations. Following a rainy race at Silverstone, Hamilton offered a candid critique of the SF25, describing it as the most challenging car he's ever driven in that environment. In Hamilton's own words, he expressed his frustration. "It's only my second time driving in the wet in this car, and I can't even express to you how hard it is." Clearly, he feels the challenges presented by the car's design are substantial, and he hinted at the need for discussions concerning next year's model, indicating there are elements of this car that cannot go into the following year. Nodder. This isn't the first time Hamilton's difficulties with Ferrari's setup have come to light. His relationship with race engineer Riccardo Adami has also drawn attention due to reported communication issues and tense moments on the pit wall. Steiner's insights delve deeper into the complexities of Hamilton's status within F1. He noted that sometimes the identity Hamilton has crafted for himself doesn't seamlessly align with Ferrari's racing culture. As Steiner puts it, the only one above a team is Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's influence extends well beyond the racetrack. He's a global icon active in numerous fields like film, fashion, and charitable endeavors. In the fast-paced world of Formula One, where brands and athletes are intertwined, the relationship between Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari is one to watch. The potential for greatness exists, but challenges remain. As Hamilton works towards mastering the SF25, fans and analysts alike will be eager to see if this alliance can transform into a competitive force before the season ends. Lewis Hamilton's presence in Formula One transcends the pit lanes and racetracks. As he becomes synonymous with the sport, there's an ongoing discussion about his stature, not just within F1, but also as a global icon. Well-known figures have pointed out that his achievements go beyond winning races or titles. A recent comment highlights that while drivers like Max Verstappen are giants on the track, Hamilton's ambitions stretch into influencing the world far outside of racing. It begs the question, who is the bigger brand in the sport, Hamilton or Ferrari? In this dynamic landscape, as expectations soar, we see Hamilton currently sitting in P6 in the Drivers' Championship standings. He lags 16 points behind his teammate, Charles Leclerc, leaving fans pondering about the potential of this partnership. Discussions have emerged around whether Hamilton was the right fit for Ferrari, with team principal Guenther Steiner suggesting that he might not have been the optimal choice given the team's current direction. There's certainly no shortage of excitement surrounding Hamilton this season. Rumors about his personal life are bubbling up, particularly following sightings of Ray in the Ferrari garage. As both a prominent figure in pop culture and in the world of motorsport, her presence adds another layer of intrigue surrounding Hamilton's journey with Ferrari. However, all hasn't gone smoothly for the 7-time world champion. Jolyon Palmer, former F1 driver, has not held back, labeling Hamilton as disappointing during his first half season with Ferrari, suggesting that he's not yet reached his usual stellar form. As whispers of a potential upgrade for the SF25 circulate, it seems Ferrari is taking steps to enhance performance and address any concerns voiced by Hamilton and Leclerc. This season is poised to be a roller coaster ride, not only for fans, but also for the teams involved. With Hamilton aiming to regain his competitive edge, expectations are high. Will he rise to the occasion, or will challenges continue to mount? Stay tuned as we keep you updated on this thrilling Formula One season, where every race has the potential to write a new chapter in motorsport history. In the world of Formula One, speculation is as common as the roar of engines, and today we're focusing on one of the sport's most prominent figures, Christian Horner. Recently, Jeremy Clarkson has shared his thoughts on Horner's potential future with Alpine and some intriguing alternatives that have come to light. So what's the buzz surrounding Christian Horner? After a surprising exit from Red Bull, where he served as team principal, Horner is now the subject of rumors regarding his next move in Formula One, with Alpine actively searching for a new team principal following the departure of Oliver Oakes. Many see this as a suitable destination for him. However, Clarkson, a known fan of F1, has voiced skepticism about Horner joining Alpine. His reasoning? The impending engine partnership with Mercedes. Horner would be stepping into a complicated relationship, given his fraught history with Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff. As Clarkson pointed out, the rivalry between Horner and Wolff is well documented, making it difficult to envision Horner comfortably transitioning into a role where he would need to collaborate closely with Wolff. In his column for The Sun, Clarkson reflects on the situation, stating, "The clever money is saying he'll go to Alpine, but next year they will have Mercedes engines, which means Christian would have to work with Toto Wolff. And as those two really don't get on, I can't see that happening." The speculation doesn't stop at Alpine, though. Ferrari has also been mentioned as a possible destination for Horner. However, Clarkson points out that the involvement of Lewis Hamilton, who drives for Ferrari, might pose another challenge. Their history as key players in the controversial Mercedes versus Red Bull championship battles makes such a move seem unlikely. Clarkson elaborates, saying, "Ferrari? Possibly, but that would mean upping sticks and moving to Italy and dealing with Sir Hamilton." But what if those routes close off for Horner? Clarkson believes there's more to Horner's story yet. The landscape of F1 is shifting dramatically as we approach 2026, with new chassis and engine rules on the horizon. The transition of Sauber into Audi and the addition of Cadillac entering as a new team suggests that opportunities might arise for Horner in unexpected places. Horner's future remains a hot topic, and with heavy changes coming to F1, one thing is clear: his journey in the sport is far from over. As fans and analysts alike keep a close watch on these developments, we can only wait to see how this story unfolds. Stay tuned, as we'll be diving deeper into the future of F1 in our next segment. FEA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem is pushing for a 12th team to join Formula One, and he has his sights set on a potential entry from China. In recent discussions, Ben Sulayem expressed that he believes adding more teams is more beneficial than simply increasing the number of races. He shared that drivers have expressed concerns about the current race schedule, asking for fewer races rather than more. This reflects a growing sentiment within the sport, where the focus may need to shift towards integration and performance of the teams already in play. When the FIA opened the expression of interest in 2023, it highlighted processes based on a thorough framework for competency, focusing on compliance with regulations rather than the origins of the applicants. According to Ben Sulayem, the performance of the existing 11th team will be assessed first. If a Chinese bid meets the necessary standards, he believes it could be well received, emphasizing the importance of maintaining a sustainable business model in F1. In the background, the competition to attract prominent figures in the sport is heating up. There are strong indications that new entrants would eagerly seek to sign notable personalities like Christian Horner, the former Red Bull boss. Furthermore, with Audi and Cadillac making their debuts next year, and potential Chinese entrants making their presence felt, the stakes are high for team recruitment. In more recent news, Christian Horner's departure from Red Bull this month has stirred discussions amongst fans and analysts alike. With Max Verstappen looking ahead to the 2027 season, many are speculating about where his next tactical move might take him. Acknowledging the current landscape, some insiders suggest that if Verstappen aims for immediate success, he may need to explore options outside his current team. In tandem, Thursday's F1 news cycle showcased a flurry of announcements, keeping fans engaged and eagerly awaiting what's next for both drivers and teams. As the season progresses, we'll keep a close eye on these developments and their implications for the future of F1. Be sure to stay tuned for the latest updates, Bad Irony, as there's plenty more action on the horizon. Gasly's bold response to the rumors swirling around Bottas. He firmly described the discussion as noise that the team doesn't need right now. Gasly believes that adding another experienced driver like Bottas would not benefit Alpine, which is currently struggling to climb up the constructors' standings. Alpine finds itself at a critical juncture. Entering F1 2025, this is the final season in which they hold Works Team status, and the Renault era risks concluding on a disappointing note. So far, the team has only managed to gather 19 points across the opening 12 races, thanks to Gasly himself. In the most recent race at Silverstone, he managed to secure a P6 finish, marking just the third top 10 result for the team this season. Now, there's been chatter about Bottas stepping in, especially since he's currently the reserve driver for Mercedes after losing his seat with Sauber. With both Jack Doohan and Franco Colapinto in the sister car failing to score, the idea of bringing in Bottas as a 10-time Grand Prix winner has sparked interest. However, Gasly seems skeptical about this potential move. He was asked if Bottas could serve as a benchmark for the team, and his reply didn't show much enthusiasm for that scenario. Instead, he emphasized the importance of focusing on their current challenges rather than getting distracted by such speculation. Gasly pointed out the hard work he has been doing with the car, showcasing its potential each weekend. He acknowledged the tight midfield battle and their position at the back, but urged the team to concentrate on improvement rather than the noise around them. As he said, "It's just tricky. There will always be noise, especially considering what happened earlier in the year. But at the end of the day, we should just focus on the work ahead." Looking forward, Gasly foresees a long season ahead. He mentioned that they don't have any major upgrades on the car right now, acknowledging that it isn't in the best shape. However, he insists that everyone must stay committed to doing their best with what they have. So, what's the takeaway from Gasly's comments? It's clear that he is focused on the task at hand, putting in the effort to make the most of what Alpine currently has, instead of getting sidetracked by rumors about potential new drivers. Stick around, as we will continue to track the developments within the Alpine team as the season unfolds. It's bound to be an exciting ride. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff has recently confirmed that Alpine is showing an increasing interest in Valtteri Bottas. This news comes amid a crucial period for the team as they evaluate potential candidates for the second seat, with Colapinto undergoing race-by-race assessments. Wolff's strategy seems to be hands-off concerning Bottas's future. In a discussion with Viaplay at Silverstone, he mentioned he had spoken with Alpine executive advisor Flavio Briatore about Bottas's situation several times. He expressed excitement about the rising interest in Bottas, saying he deserves that seat. If someone grabs him as a race driver, we'll let him go, of course, with a tear in the corner of our eye. This echoes Wolff's supportive stance as a friend rather than a team principal, emphasizing that the final decision rests with Bottas and his management. In the backdrop of these developments, rumors are swirling around Valtteri Bottas potentially preparing for an F1 comeback. Could the former Mercedes driver return to the circuit in an unexpected twist? Pierre Gasly has also weighed in on Alpine's current standing, providing a rather bleak overview amidst rumors linking Christian Horner to the team. This situation raises questions about the direction Alpine is taking and whether new blood might soon enter. As we dive deeper into the F1 silly season, it's clear that potential driver movements are heating up. Have you ever wondered what the next 5 most likely signings might look like? It's an exciting time for fans as teams scramble to finalize their rosters for the upcoming seasons. Wolff's confirmations of Alpine's interest in Bottas are just one thread in a tangled web of rumors and speculation. With Bottas poised as a potential replacement for Colapinto, fans are left eager for clarity as the season progresses. Stay tuned as we continue to follow the latest developments in the world of Formula One. The race for talent is fierce, and the stories that unfold can be as thrilling as the races themselves.